Hi there, this is Jen, and thanks for joining me today. Today I am using the Stamp and Die of the Month for Not Too Shabby to create another couple of cards. This is a super cute stamp and die set, and you can either get the stamp by itself or the stamp and the die set. Today I'm going to make a few cards using paper strips. This is a great type of card to use your scraps, but I'm going to go ahead and use some papers that I have. This color combination is actually a color combination that is more kind of like a summery color combination, but I really liked the colors, and so I'm going to go ahead and take those papers and cut, I believe these are 1/8 inch strips. And I cut a bunch of those because I am going to adhere them across a card panel, and they're going to show through the kind of circle that I've already created with a die cut. So I have a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 panel as my base, and then the excuse me, the paper with the circle cut out of it is about 1/8 of an inch smaller, and I'm just going to take a pencil and mark where the top and the bottom of the circle are so that I know where to start and stop gluing my paper strips. And I made a bunch of strips to start out with, but I didn't have nearly enough, and so I went back and I cut some more. But I'm going to start out with the first row. It is most important to get the first row even so that all of the rows after that are even as well. So I just took my T-ruler and went ahead and butted the paper strip up against that to get it straight. And then I am using my handy dandy tweezers to go ahead and hold the paper while I kind of push it up against the paper before it. And I'm just going to follow the same pattern of papers all the way down the panel until I have it filled up. And then for the piece that has the circle die cut out of it, I've gone ahead and added some foam so that is popped up away from those color strips. After I picked my paper colors out, I went ahead and I matched those up with my Copic markers, and so I tried to color the little snowman with kind of the same colors as that solid paper. And I'm just going to start assembling all of the pieces. I added a little bit of foam to the back of the snowman to fit in that raised area, and so there's a little bit of foam as well as some liquid adhesive. And then the sentiment that I'm using from the stamp set is called Warm Wishes. And if you get the die set to go with the stamp set, I'm sorry, the die set will cut out all of the sentiments, so that's pretty cool. And then I added some enamel dots, and that is going to finish off the first card. For the next card, I'm also using some paper strips, and I'm using a light blue cardstock and then a piece of mint cardstock and then red, which I think is a really pretty color combination. For this card, instead of measuring out the strips, I am going to take my guillotine trimmer and just do random strips. I did not want to measure out, and I wanted this to be a little bit different than the first card, and so again, I'm just taking my trimmer and kind of just eyeballing it, some thinner strips, some thicker strips. And these strips are going to go horizontal across the entire card, so I just wanted to make sure that they were at least 4 1/4. They're actually a little bit bigger because I wanted to be able to cut off the excess instead of kind of trying to get that really even on all sides. And again, I am getting the first strip as straight as possible so that all of these strips that come after it are also straight. And I'm just going to follow the same process as I did for the first card as far as applying them. I am using some liquid adhesive and my tweezers, and then I'm going to take my trimmer again and trim off all of those excess overhang pieces. I also end up trimming this panel down about 1/8 of an inch on the top and the left-hand side. And then I am using a circle die to cut out the right-hand side. I had to run this through probably about 4 times to get it cut completely, since it is a little bit thicker than normal cardstock because of all of those strips of paper. And like the first card, I'm going to go ahead and use some foam to go ahead and pop this up. And to fill in that circle piece, I am going to add some vellum. So I had this piece of vellum left over from something else, and it has just enough for me to fill in that space. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that over the foam, so it's attached to the top of the foam. And then I'm going to take my tape runner to go ahead and add adhesive on that vellum, so that that portion also sticks to the card panel. And then I will take my scissors and trim off the extra vellum on the side. And I wasn't really sure what I was going to do when I attached the vellum, but if I had thought about it, I would have done this next step first, and that is adding these trees. So basically what I have to do now, because I didn't plan this, is go ahead and kind of pull up the vellum away from the panel behind it, and then take my tweezers and kind of push those back behind there, so that I have 2 of the trees hiding behind the vellum. And then I will add my little Santa people, not my Santa people, my snow people, to the top of that and have those trees in the background. And then I grabbed a sentiment from my stash using some vellum and some white cardstock. It just says fa la la. And then to finish it off, I am using some Nuvo white gloss drops to add to the trees, and that's going to finish off the card. I hope you enjoyed these cards. I would love to know which one is your favorite. If you did like this video or find it informative, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up. And as of the editing of this video, the stamp and the die set is still available, and I will leave links below where you can find these. As always, thanks so much for spending some time with me today, and I hope to see you next time.